other thing that the Treasurer has suggested is legislating the purpose of superannuation. Is this something the Coalition will block, this sort of legislation?
Well, we're actually very supportive of having a legislated purpose of super, as long as it's the right purpose for super. And that means to help people to have a secure, prosperous retirement. That's what we want to see. We know that super can add to that. We also know that
that's at odds with the Coalition election promise that obviously didn't get up, but the Coalition wanted to allow young people to access their superannuation to buy a first home. So if it was legislated that it would need to remain there for their retirement, then those sort of ideas that the Coalition took to the election probably wouldn't be possible.
Well, no, I don't agree with that. And I was about to say that we also know that while superannuation can support a prosperous retirement, a secure retirement, so too, more than anything, can owning a home. In fact, the single factor that we know is the best indicator of a prosperous, a secure retirement is owning your own home. So we do think that is part of what superannuation should be able to support. Now, it's a bizarre situation when your super fund can invest in anybody's home except your own. It's a ridiculous situation.
Well, I want to ask
so we think it's always about a secure, prosperous retirement, and a house as well as your superannuation fund can contribute to that.
And that was a very popular policy, not popular enough to put Scott Morrison back in the lodge, but it was popular. Now, I want to ask you about Wayne Swan entering the debate today. He is chair of Cbus Industry Super Fund. What did you think of his intervention?
Well, it's the same sort of thing you always see from Wayne Swan. I mean, he trained Jim Chalmers, so it's pretty much in line with what Jim Chalmers wants, which is to tax Australians more. That's how Labor makes ends meet. It comes after your money. That's always how it does it. It's what Wayne Swan wanted to do. It's what Jim Chalmers wants to do. So it's more of the same. And we shouldn't be surprised because they come from the same stable.
We've also seen news today, although we've been covering it on the show the whole week, that without changing the tax thresholds, Labor would be presiding over a historic tax increase in real wages. Do you think the tax thresholds should shift?
You're talking about the income tax thresholds, are you, Sharri?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, there is no doubt that inflation is actually going to raise the average rate of income tax for Australians through what's known as bracket creep. More of your income goes into higher tax brackets. That's why the stage 3 tax cuts are so important, because they take some of that bracket creep away. And we don't want to see people paying more tax because of inflation. I think Labor does want to see people paying more tax because of inflation, and that's why we saw the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, a few months back floating this idea of getting rid of the stage 3 tax cuts. So it is very important that inflation isn't a hidden, sneaky tax increase. Labor will always look for a hidden, sneaky tax increase, Sharri, but that's why the stage 3 tax cuts are so important. It takes that away.